تم بدء التسجيل.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to all of you to the third session of the course of Introduction to Information Systems. Today we will be concluding our first chapter. On the conclusion of the first chapter, I shall make a few announcements regarding face-to-face meetings, assignments, and the conduct of classes from the next week onwards. So I will take approximately if you cannot hear me clearly, kindly click on the cross sign, and if you can hear me clearly, click on the green tick, please. Maybe it is due to some kind of lag on your side in the network. That is why you cannot hear me right now. As I can see, almost all of the other respondents can hear me clearly. Maybe in a while you will start listening clearly to my voice. Thank you so much for your response, so we can proceed with our class. Thank you so much. Today we are going to conclude our first chapter and then discuss the second chapter as well. I'm going to close the chat. So that we can concentrate on the lecture henceforth. Thank you. In the previous lecture, we concluded our discussion by talking about the responsibility that falls with the IT specialist, management information system specialist, if the project becomes successful or project becomes failure. And we discussed why the management information specialist should be given credit for successful project or for failed project. We discussed that within the organization, there is always resistance for the introduction of new systems. If our management information system specialists are intelligent, they can overcome the resistance and can help in developing a system which actually meets the needs of the organization. If they are not able to meet that resistance, or they are not able to complete the project as we mentioned in our last lecture, then they are responsible people who have let the project down and who have actually caused the organization a certain amount of loss in terms of their confidence and in terms of their money. This was the last thing that we discussed in our last lecture. So we move further from here. We move to the next slide. In the next slide, in the figure, which is also part of your book, the development cycle of information systems has been presented. In the forthcoming chapters, we will be talking about this development cycle of information system development in much detail, and we will talk of various techniques and technologies that are used in various phases of development. Here in the introductory chapter, it will be sufficient to briefly learn about those phases. As you can see, these phases have been represented in the form of a circular shape which connects itself with the starting point. If you see at the figure which is given in 23rd slide of this course, you will see that its starting point and its ending point are connected with each other. Why these are connected with each other? This connection represents a continuous cycle. So first thing it represents is that information systems are continuously developed, evolved and integrated in the organization. Information systems are not such like entities which are once developed in the system and then the organization keeps using the same system over and over. Instead, information systems are such that once you make an information system, after some time you find yourself in need of a new and better information system. So the cycle continues again. This cycle starts from the first stage, which is called investigate. In the investigation phase, this is the first phase of information system development. In the investigation phase, the IT specialists, the people who are responsible for developing the system, identify problems. Now, I'm going to tell you some very important things with respect to the information system development and software development. First of all, you need to realize what a problem is. Many a times, you may have seen that, or you may have experienced that you get sick. You, for example, you suffer from fever. Sometimes you get fever, or you get cold, flu, something like that. So you go to the doctor and doctor asks you, what is wrong with you? You tell to the doctor, I have fever. When you tell to the doctor, I have fever, this means that you think your problem is fever. But the doctor who is specialist in medicine knows that your problem is not fever. But the fever is a symptom. Your problem is something else. Maybe you have some kind of infection. Maybe you are catching fever because there is a change in weather. Maybe it is too cold and you got fever. Maybe you have been in sun for a very long time and you had developed a small scale of sunstroke or something like that. So, important thing to understand is that fever is not your problem. Fever is a symptom, a symbol for the problem, and the doctor who specializes in medicine learns from you that you have fever, and based on this symptom he investigates your real problem. Similarly, when you go in an organization which asks you to develop an information system for them, you ask them, why do you need an information system? And they tell you, for example, we need information system because we want to increase our profit. Our profit is low, or we want to increase our throughput. Our workers produce less amount of goods. They tell you this, and they say that to overcome this, you need to develop an information system for us. Now, just like that, doctor, you are a specialist in software development. When you listen from them, you understand that these are the symptoms. And maybe the problem is something else. For example, if the throughput of the organization is low, organization is producing less goods, maybe it is because the organization's infrastructure is very large and people have to move a very long distance from one conveyor belt to another conveyor belt to assemble the goods. So, you will develop an information system which will automate the working of these various components which are part of assembly. We talked about cross-functional business automation and cross-functional automation in our last lecture. So, this information system will be doing the work of cross-function automation. What you have done, you have investigated why your customer wants an information system. So as you see in the slide, recognize that a problem exists. Identify what the problem is. What kind of information system does this organization need? If you will not recognize the problem properly, then maybe the organization needs an information system which enhances its throughput, and you make an information system which enhances its efficiency. Two different things. Organization is already efficient. They want throughput to be enhanced. So you will make an information system which is not according to the need of the organization if you have not completed the first stage properly, which is investigate and plan. In the second stage, you will analyze. Again, very important point you need to understand. What do we mean by analyze? Let's suppose I ask you to travel from one city to another city. For example, from Riyadh to Jeddah, from, for example, Qasim to Medina, from some other place. You are asked to travel from one place to another place. I don't know why the voice is cutting. Maybe it is again the problem of the network. But I shall see that my sentences are clear and my voice is loud so that you can understand. Now, I'm going to open the chat again and ask you a question. I am asking you to travel from one city to another city. Type in chat and tell me which option you would like to opt. Whether you would like to travel by road, whether you would like to travel by air, whether you would like to travel on your own car, or you would like to take a public transport. Kindly answer in chat what kind of transport would you like to use in traveling from one place to another place. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you. Now you have seen what options you have given. Have you noticed something? Some of you opted for car and some of you opted for aeroplane. Now listen carefully. If you have to move from one place to another place, you can move in your own car. You can also move by air. You can move by public transport. You will still reach from one place to another place. Whether you would like to travel by air or by car or by public transport depends on your need. For example, you want to reach very quickly from one place to another place. So if you travel by public transport, that will be too slow and you need to travel by air. Or maybe you want to spend your vacation and you want to enjoy sightseeing. You cannot do sightseeing by air, so you decide to travel by your own car so that you can look at the scenery all along. What's the difference? The difference is your proposed solution for traveling from one place to another place. There are always many solutions that you can opt for. For example, if you want to develop a software, you can develop that software in C++, you can develop that software in C#, you can develop that software in Java, you can develop that software in PHP, it will still be software. All of these are mechanisms to develop the software. Now, when you have to develop the software, you have to decide which of these is the best solution for you. Just like when you were traveling, you decided which mode of travel is best for you. If you want to reach quickly, you say, no, I will not travel by car, I will travel by air. But if you want to sightsee, you say, I do not travel by air, I travel by car. You have to analyze what is your need. Whether you want a C# based solution or you want a PHP based solution. If it is a client server product, for example, its solution will be different. If it is a peer-to-peer product, its solution will be different. Now, all of these solutions are correct. If you travel by car, you will still reach your destination. If you travel by air, you will still reach your destination. All of these are solutions. You have to analyze which of these solutions is best for you so that you can opt for the best solution in information systems. So I gave you the example of traveling to show you that there are always many possible solutions, but your best solution is always only one. Out of all of those possible solutions, you have to find that best solution. For that, you analyze. You look at every solution. You see what is good about this solution and what is bad about this solution. Once you have analyzed all of the solutions, then the solution which is most best for you, you choose that. Once you have chosen the most best solution, then you design it. Now coming to the third stage, design. Let's suppose you have decided, just as I was giving the example of travel, that you have to travel by air. Now just saying that I have to travel by air, kindly tell me, if I say to you that I am traveling by air from Riyadh to Medina or from Riyadh to Jeddah or some other place, is it a sufficient answer? I'm going to open the chat and kindly tell me, if I tell you that I am traveling by air from Riyadh to any other place, is it a good enough answer? Kindly answer in yes or no in chat or through cross and tick buttons. Yes, you are. I ask that if I tell you that I am traveling from Riyadh to any other city by air, is it a sufficient answer? Is it a good answer? Yes, you are right. It is not a good answer. Now let me tell you why it is not a good answer. Because this answer is not telling me that whether I have to travel in the morning or in the evening. This is not telling me whether I have to travel with my family or with just myself. It is not telling me which particular airline I have to take. It is not going to tell me which particular class I have to take my ticket. Whether I have to take business class, whether I have to take economy class. Yes, we have to explain. Once we have chosen the best solution in analysis, we have to explain it. We have to give all of its detail. Once we have given the detail, then we will be able to implement it. Once I decide when I have to travel, which airline I have to travel, whether I have to travel alone or with my family, what time I will travel, what class I will travel, this is the design of my travel. Similarly, when you say that you have to make a peer-to-peer information system because your analysis tells that this is the best information system for you, then you have to complete the details of that peer-to-peer information system. You have to provide what kind of hardware is needed, what kind of software is needed, what kind of platform is needed. Yes, whenever we have to develop an information system for the organization, we have to follow these steps. First, we have to investigate our problem. Then we have to analyze what is our best solution. Then we have to design, give details of that solution. Once all of the details have been provided, then we develop the solution. That is the fourth stage, implementation. In implementation, we do the actual development. Now you see how many steps we take before we start coding. First we investigate, then we analyze, then we design. Once all of this is done, then we develop. That is the fourth stage, implementation. Once the implementation is complete, the software is developed and in place in our customer's organization, then it is maintained and used until it becomes obsolete. Your customer again sees the need for a new information system, because it's a fact you have experienced in life that a thing cannot stay with you forever. Maybe when you were children, your home had a different kind of telephone. When you grew up, you saw that mobile phones have been introduced. Now you see that mobile phones have been replaced by smartphones. And in future, there will be wearable devices like watches, Google Watch or other such. What does it mean? Nothing remains forever. Similarly, when you make an information system, it does not remain forever with you. After some time, your organization starts feeling the need to have a new information system. And then this whole cycle, all of these 5 steps again repeat again and again, so that new systems keep building. Similarly, sometimes your customer wants new modules to be added. So we again follow all the 5 steps for development of those modules. I think all of you can see the slides. I am on slide number 23, and perhaps you have some time lag. Maybe your connection is causing some problem. You may be able to see the recording, and then you will be able to see all of the slides. Now, kindly tick in green if you have understood the steps, and tick in red if you have not understood the steps. Thank you so much. We move to the next slide, but before moving to the next slide, let me again repeat. If you cannot see the slide, let me repeat again. It is slide number 23. The slides are already present in the page of the course. You can download the slides from there as well. We are on slide number 23. There may be some kind of trouble, some kind of lag with the system. You will be able to see the slides clearly in the recording that will be put tomorrow, inshallah. In the slide number 23, we have discussed 5. I have posted this lecture on Blackboard. If you go into the course page, you see there is a section called book chapters. These slides are present on the book chapters. You can download these from there, and you can use these for your purpose. Okay, in this slide, I have discussed 5 stages of development of information systems. These 5 stages include investigation, analysis, design, implementation, and maintenance. In investigation, we identify the problems. In analysis, we look into all the possible solutions and choose the best solution. In design, we give all of the details of our chosen solution. In implement, we develop our proposed solution, and in maintenance, we maintain and use our solution. Now I'm again going to close the chat, and we move to the next slide so that our work can continue. So we just talked that an organization keeps on introducing new information systems. So when a new system is introduced, what is the old system called? The system which was already in place, which is replaced by the new system, what is the name of that system? Generic name of that system. On slide number 24, its name is given. Its name is legacy applications. Legacy application means the old application which is working in the organization, which we want to replace or which we want to change. So in an organization, there may be many systems. If we want to have a new system, we have two possible options. Now, who will answer me to tell what are those two possible options? You can type your answers in the chat. If we want to change our legacy system, we can make this change in two ways. Can someone tell me what are those two ways? Okay, port, use the old system, develop, some other solutions, repair or install, use a new, change it all with new, develop it. Thank you so much. Now let me answer it. Okay, let's suppose I have a laptop and after some time I see that my laptop has gone old. I can do two things. One is I discard this laptop, put it somewhere in the bucket, in the almirah, go to the shop and buy a brand new laptop. Now I have a question. If I buy a new laptop and keep the old one aside, after every 2 or 3 years, the technology will change. Today there is i3, tomorrow there will be i5, then there will be i7, and then any other. There was P4, there was P1, and so forth. Computers are changing. So every 2 or 3 years computers change. Will I be changing my laptop every 2 or 3 years? This is one solution. But every time my laptop gets old, I keep it somewhere and buy a new one. Or there is a second solution. The second solution is I go into the market, buy the components which I need, change the old components which have become old-fashioned with the new components and make my existing laptop like new one. This is the second way. The first way is replace the existing system with the new system. Look at the slide number 24. It's bullet. One solution is replace the old system with a new system. Second solution is change the old system in such a way that it becomes a new system so that you don't need to buy a new system. Which of these is better solution? Buying a new system or changing the old system in such a way that it works just like a new system, which will be a cost efficient solution. Definitely, if I can maintain my old system and change it in such a way that it becomes modern, that will be a better solution. And that is the solution. Yes, improve it, update the system, and then start using it, start porting it. This is a better solution because if I have to buy a total new laptop, it will cost me everything. I have to buy everything new. It will be very costly. But if I replace the old components in my system with new components which are my need, I will be saving a lot. That is why slide number 24 says that instead of replacing your old system with a new system, modernize it. Modernize your legacy applications, your old applications, because if you will not modernize, you will be left behind from your competition. And if you will always keep on replacing your old system with new systems, that will be too expensive. So, like let's suppose that I have an information system, and that information system is for my inventory management. Now that information system uses wire-based communication tools for communication between my vendors and my inventory. With time, the wire-based communication has become very slow. Now I need a system which works with wireless. So I have two options. Number one, to buy an altogether new system which works on wireless, or to change my existing system in such a way that instead of working with wires, it starts working wireless. If I buy an altogether new system, that will be very expensive. But if I change only this component, connectivity component of my information system, that will cost me less. If I don't change it, I will be left behind from my competition. And if I change it, just the component that I need, I will be saving a lot of cost. If I replace the system, it will be too costly. So modernize your system. Not always go for replacement. Change the components which are needed and keep working with your legacy system. This is also a solution of another problem. Third bullet, what solutions will it meet? You are working with a system, your human resource is working with the system, they know the system. For example, all of us work with Microsoft Word, so we understand the system. What if our bosses ask us to work with an altogether new word processing system? It will be difficult for us. We will need some time to understand the new system. But if some changes are made in the Microsoft Word, we will easily understand it. That is why all of us always use the new version of Microsoft Word. We don't discard Microsoft Word and use a new system. We upgrade it. We modernize it. You modernize the solution, the training time required for human resource becomes less. That is a big advantage. So, modernize your legacy system instead of replacing it every time. This is a great advantage. Moving to the next slide. Now we are moving into the next domain, that is, if we develop information systems, are there any harms of these information systems? This chapter is all about introduction, so it covers all of the aspects of the course that we are studying, we have to study. If we, like so far, from our last 2 weeks, we have been talking that information systems are so good, they give us this advantage, they give us that advantage. Are there any disadvantages or problems or harms with the information systems? Yes, there are a lot of harms with the information systems. If you see at the slide number 25, various potential harms and risks. Number one, our privacy can be compromised. If information systems are in place, it means our bosses can use the data that is collected about us for their purpose. So this is one major harm. Second harm is inaccurate information. Maybe someone feeds inaccurate information about us in the system. For example, a very small example. If someone starts feeding your data, your national identity card data, something like that, which recognizes you as the citizens of the Saudi Arabia, and an organization which feeds all of that data about you, and somehow, unfortunately, they enter a wrong telephone number of you. Now, every time they try to contact you for any update, they will not be able to contact you because they entered your phone number wrong. If we have an information system with inaccurate information, it will never be able to meet its purpose. This is second potential harm. Third potential harm is collusion. Maybe the people who work with the information system start feeling that they are very important people in the organization because they know about everyone, and they start threatening the people that if you, for example, don't follow our orders, we will feed wrong data about you and your life will be bad. Or maybe they meet with some people, they make a group, and that group starts using bad tactics against the other human resource. This is called collusion. Means some people doing bad things against the other people. This is another potential harm. Some risks, for example, if you introduce an information system in the organization, your consumers may not like to do business with you because they may be scared that you are storing their data for some illegal purpose. They may boycott you, or the human resource may stop working in the organization. They may say that organization is recording data about us for inferior purposes, for malpractices. So we are not going to work in this organization. They go on strike or something like that. Or maybe government start spying on that data to take information about the people. As you have just, maybe many of you may have read that in America there is an organization called National Security Agency, and they have taken all of the telephone records, telephone communication records of their citizens. So government can intervene and can collect your private data. That is another potential risk. How can we avoid these risks? Number one, through use of code of ethics. We make rules and we bound the organizations that you cannot deviate from this rule. Or we can provide incentives to the people who are working with the information system. If, for example, we say that those people who start using the information system, they will be paid 5% bonus. Many people will jump to get that 5% bonus and will start using the system, providing incentives or providing certificates to the people. People feel honored when you recognize their training. So if you provide certificates to the people, you hold meetings with the people and you tell them that you have done something very good, other people like to follow that, because other people feel that they also need to be put on that stage and be recognized. So the certifications. These can be possible responses which can help in overcoming the improper practices of information systems and overcoming the risks and harms associated with introduction of IT and information systems. One example that is again taken from your book, we will be slightly quick, is of Hannaford Brothers. Hannaford Brothers is an organization who have been dealing with information systems for a very long time. While they were using information systems, they were storing data about their employees and their customers and their end users, and this data was in millions. But after some time, they found that millions of the records of that information system have been stolen by some people for their inferior purposes. For example, their credit card numbers have been stolen. So if someone steals your credit card number, this is a very serious threat for your financial stability. Now, Hannaford Brothers informed their users about the data that has been stolen, but at the same time, the damage had been done, and the people who became scared of the safety of their data and the safety of their privacy, they started suing the organization, putting and filing cases against the organization. All of those people were rightfully putting cases in court against the organization because the organization had not taken steps to safeguard the data properly, due to which the data was stolen. So the people had a right to sue the organization. There are many other things that people can do. People can claim damages from the organization which has not taken care of their data. People can ask the organization to be closed down, to go bankrupt. There are many things that can happen with the organization if the organization's information system is not correct. There are many moral responsibilities that the organizations have to take, ethical responsibilities and legal responsibilities if they have to use the information system. This is told in slide number 26. In slide number 27, it has been told that information systems and IT careers are very fast-growing professions, both in Saudi Arabia as well as all over the world, in United States, in European Union, and everywhere. If you are an IT specialist or information system specialist, you have a very high potential of getting one of the fastest growing and best jobs. So this is told in slide number 27. In slide number 29, a new professional discipline has been formed, that is business analyst. If you practice the development of information systems in your organization, you will be known as business analyst. A business analyst is the person who investigates and analyzes and designs the solution. We just talked about 5 stages of development of information system. A business analyst is one who understands the problems that organization is facing and then analyzes and finds the best solution to overcome that problem and then designs the details of that solution. So he is a very important person in the information system development. He needs to be given a proper respect within the organization. Kindly ask your questions in Arabic, in English, so that I can understand them properly. I cannot understand your questions that you have asked in Arabic. Business analyst is the one, yes, who understands the business requirements, who understands the problems that are hampering the meeting of those business requirements, and then analyzes which solution should be taken, and then develops the details of that solution. So a business analyst has to have 2 kinds of skills. Number 1, he has to be an IT professional, because he will be helping in development of information systems. Information systems are IT based systems. If he is not IT specialist, he may not understand what kind of systems are currently prevalent, what kind of systems are good and what kind of systems are not good. So he has to be IT professional, but at the same time he has to understand the business as well. So this is very important thing. The last bullet, what skills should a business analyst have? Remember that, for example, if I know coding or I know programming, does that mean that I also understand about the medicine? No, because I know programming, I am not a doctor. Or if I am a computer scientist, can I build a bridge as well? No, I cannot build a bridge, because I am not an engineer, I am not a mechanical engineer. Everyone has their own profession and they know about their own profession. But there are always some people who know this profession and that profession both. Such kind of people are the best business analysts. So what kind of skills that business analyst should have? He should have IT skills and he should have the knowledge of that particular business within which he is working as business analyst. If he has both of these knowledges, yes, he should have analysis skills and he should have IT skills. If he has both of these skills, then he becomes a successful business analyst. A business analyst is one who understands the business in which he is employed as a business analyst, and he understands the IT skills. Both of these, he will become a successful business analyst. He should have IT skills and he should have the skill of that particular domain. Then he will be a successful business analyst. I have to be a bit quick to overcome this lecture. In our today's class, we have been taking this chapter for 3 weeks now. Kindly ask your questions in English, because it is mandatory in this university to teach in English. What are the major functions of information systems? Information systems help in enhancing efficiency. Information systems are important in making the organization effective. What is efficient and what is effective we discussed in our previous class. Information systems should enhance the productivity, should enhance the confidence of customers and employees in the organization, should enhance the customer services. These are the major functions of an information system. If an information system cannot make the organization efficient, cannot make the organization effective, cannot enhance the productivity, cannot enhance the throughput, that information system is a non-functional information system. It is not a good information system. In the section 2, very quickly, some system concepts have been given. We are now in the last stages of this chapter. We have some definitions here. The first definition is, what is a system? In the first lecture, I told you that not everything is a system. A system is something which has three things. Number one, it accepts input from some source. Input is some data which the system will process and then will create some output. It is like I want to get answer for some multiplication. So my input will be the numbers which I want to multiply. It is the data. The data is raw information. So our input, number one, system will be accepting the input. This is first thing. Then second thing, a system will be called a system if it has some process based on which it performs some work on that input. Some processes, some mechanisms, some code, some algorithm based on which it works and generates the output. And finally, it delivers the output. A system is a system if it has at least these three things. It has some defined input, it has some defined output, and it has some defined process to transform that input into output. Now that input can come from two kinds of sources. That input can come from a human. For example, you are using an ATM machine. That ATM machine is running a system, and the input being given is being given by us, humans. We are entering our ATM password. We are entering the amount that we want to withdraw. We are giving commands. So input is coming from us. This input can come from some other system as well. Input can come from humans, input can come from other systems. For example, there is a sensor system. Sensors take data, they are a separate system, and then they give this data to another system which generates weather information. So input can be from a human, input can be from another system. Similarly, output can be given to the human or output can be given to another system. For a system to work properly, it has to have feedback and control. Feedback means that whenever a system does something, it logs it. It maintains its data. So that if something goes wrong, we can go into the data and see what caused that error to take place. So a system has to have feedback mechanism. Just like people who develop websites, they have error logs. They have user logs. Based on that error log, usage log, they can identify when website was working properly and when the website was not working properly. This is called feedback. And control. Control is the mechanism which ensures that if the system goes wrong, control mechanism can make the system correct. It monitors the feedback to see if something is going wrong. If something is going wrong, it brings the system to correct so that system is able to meet its objectives. In the next slide, the description of all of these have been given. As you can see, in the information system, there are resources, people, human resource, money, financial resource, material, hardware and software, machines, hardware, processors, land, the place where the information system is placed, facilities, energy, information. All of these are our resources. You cannot see the slide. It is slide number 32. I don't know why you cannot see the slide, because some of you are seeing the slides and some of you are not able to see the slides. I don't know why you are not able to see the slides. Kindly those who can see the slides click on green, and those who cannot see the slides click on red. Well, as can be seen that many of you are unable to see the slide. Uh, can you see the slide now? Can you see the slide now? As you can see, this is actually a problem with the system, not a problem on my part or on your part. It is actually a lag because at the moment the system is broadcasting this lecture all over. Yes, I have changed the slide and now it is visible to you. Now I again change the slide. Now it is slide number 32. So now you can see it. It is actually a problem. Kindly try to understand that it is actually a problem with the system. The system is at the moment overburdened because we are broadcasting the lecture all over Saudi Arabia. That is why sometimes the system becomes slow and takes some time to display the information. But if you will be patient and you will listen and you will understand, then when the recording is provided to you, you will be able to understand it properly. If you keep on taking notes and keep on understanding, you will be able to take it. I don't know, a lot of you were able to see it just now. You will be able to see it in a while. This is a problem with the system. I am trying to shuffle the slides so that all of you can see. I hope that soon this problem will be resolved and all of you will be able to see it. In the slide number 32, various kind of resources required for the system to run, various kind of business processes that need to be part of the information systems, and various kind of equipments which are required by information systems are presented. In the slide number 33, which I hope all of you can see, in the slide number 33, some other characteristics of the systems have been presented. The first characteristic is that system works in an environment. System works with other systems. All other systems are part of a large system. Kindly speak in Arabic. Kindly speak in English so that I can also understand what questions you have, because I have to conclude the lecture today. This is slide number 32. Slide number 31. Slide number 32. Kindly speak in English. And slide number 33. On the slide number 33, various other characteristics of the system are being given. Systems work in environment. Within that environment, there are various systems which integrate with each other to make one full system. Within that integration, there may be a lot of information systems. Interface is that channel through which one system communicates with the other system, or system communicates with the user. For example, all of us are communicating through the interface of this blackboard. With the interface, I communicate with the system as well as with the other users of the system. So interface is communication channel between several systems, between users and the systems, between users on one side, system in between, and users on the other side. Open systems are such kind of information systems which can interact with other systems. Closed systems are such kind of information systems which cannot interact with any other system. Adaptive systems are such kind of systems which can change themselves over time, which are reusable, where we can introduce new components, where we can introduce new modules, where we can integrate new procedures. So such kind of systems are called adaptive systems, which have the capability to change. In the slide number 34, the same information is presented in the form of a diagram. In information systems, there are various kind of resources. We just mentioned, slide number 35, people resources. There are two kind of people resources. Number one, the people who are developing information systems. They are called information system specialists. And the people who are using the information system, they are called end users. The hardware resources include machines on which the software runs and media on which the data is stored. Legacy systems, the old systems which we want to change or we want to upgrade, are upgraded in three stages. The first stage is analysis, understand what needs to be changed and why it needs to be changed, investigate, and implement. These are three stages. These are also given in your book. On slide number 37, some other resources are given. Apart from people resources and hardware resources, there are software resources. Software resources include programs, other softwares like system softwares, operating systems. Operating system, without operating system you cannot run any software. So these operating systems are called system softwares which run the computer. And application softwares, the other softwares which will be integrated with your software. Procedures are also software resources. Procedures mean those particular rules which the programs follow to execute, to develop output. This was slide number 37. On slide number 38, data resources, data and information. Data is raw data which is not meaningful, and information is processed data which is meaningful. These are data resources. Network resources, communication media, and network infrastructure. For example, Wi-Fi infrastructure, for example, satellite-based infrastructure, fiber optics infrastructure, any kind of infrastructure which we use to establish the network. Information systems take input data from sources, process the data into information, present that information in the form of output to the sources, store the data if the processes ask the system to store data, and control the working of the software. These are 5 major activities of any information systems. Summary of this whole chapter. Information systems affect people and are dependent on hardware, software, data, people, and networks. Every information system has its own peculiar type of information that it produces and that it uses. An information system is effective if its performance with respect to the input, processing, output generation, storage and control activities is good. Finally, by the conclusion of today's lecture, we come to the end of our first chapter. Now, let me briefly describe you about what kind of developments you are going to have from next week, inshallah, and how the course will be managed in a smooth and better way.
تم إيقاف التسجيل.
The university is planning to start face-to-face meetings from next week and to deploy faculties in all of the campuses so that students can learn from their respective teachers at their own campuses. In that case, if that happens, these lectures which are being taken virtually at the moment will be provided to you in recorded form, and all the teachers at all of the campuses will communicate with each other to deliver the same material to all of the students. This is how university is trying to bring live interaction between students and teachers at their own campuses. Number one. Number two, until and unless, I'm going to answer all of these questions. Until and unless the teachers are undertaking face-to-face classes at their respective campuses, we are not going to give any homework to you so far. So, inshallah, from next week onward, you will have teachers at your campuses, and then we will be providing these recorded lectures for your guidance. You will be learning from your teachers, and the assignments will be starting to reach you. From next week onward, the model of learning will also change. Since it's a virtual university, you have to remember that in a virtual university, the students have to learn a lot by themselves. So, if you have bought the book at the moment, or you have acquired it in the soft copy, or university has provided it to you, any of these things, that is very good. If you haven't, then kindly acquire the book at the earliest. From next week, these recorded lectures, if these are recorded, will be a simple tutorial of the chapter. So you will not have the flexibility to ask questions to me, like I answer your questions while I am delivering the lecture. But if the virtual lectures are in future in recorded form, then you will not have the power to ask me questions. So, in discussion with the other colleagues in the university and the respective authorities, I have come to the conclusion that when you come into the class, you must have studied the chapter beforehand. So before coming to class, you must have studied the chapter. Like if in the next week we are going to talk about chapter 2, you must have studied chapter 2 before and prepared your questions, so that within this lecture, within this 1 hour, we have to cover the whole chapter in 1 hour. Within this 1 hour, we can spend 30 minutes having an overview of the chapter, and then we simply answer your questions. You will not do that. You will not get the book by any means. Ask your campus from where you can get the book, and get the book at the earliest. And before coming into the class, read the chapter thoroughly and prepare your questions, so that you already know a lot and I don't have to explain that much and spend so much time in explaining small details. I will be always here to help you. At the moment, there is no assignment from my side. You have to get the book at any cost, if you have to understand, because in virtual environment, you cannot interact that much with the teachers as you like, or as in physical environment. So get the book and start reading the book. Your assignments will start reaching to you once you start getting face-to-face lectures at your campuses. At the moment, there is no assignment from me. It is just this lecture. This lecture slides I have already posted on the Blackboard. If you haven't been able to see it yet, I will contact the system people and ask them why you cannot see the lecture slides. Inshallah, from tomorrow, you will be able to see lecture slides in your desired format. I will also upload the lecture slides of chapter 2 so that you can prepare it beforehand. Now in the next 5 minutes, if you have any questions, kindly type them in the chat so that I can answer. But those questions should not be about the assignment or book, because I have already answered those. If you have any question about the course that we have studied so far, kindly ask your question. I don't know, I have contacted the human resource of university and they have shown me that recordings of both previous lectures are present on Blackboard. I don't know why you are not able to see the recordings. Both lectures recordings are present on the Blackboard. If you change the dates, maybe the dates are for only this week. If you change the dates to the previous weeks as well, you will start seeing all of the recordings. At the moment, I can see both the lectures present on both the recordings present on the Blackboard. I will again ask the management why you cannot see the lecture slides. I will check it, and inshallah I will make sure that all of the lecture slides are available to you. I hope all of you understood what we have studied today. If you have been able to understand a lot of it, kindly click on the green, and if you had difficulty in understanding it, kindly click on the red so that I can get an instant feedback. If you have been able to understand the lecture, kindly click on the green, and if you have not been able to, kindly click on the red. Children, I will ask the senior management and the IT staff to see why the recordings are not available to you. The lecture ends now. Thank you so much, all of you, for patiently being here and listening to me. Inshallah, in the next lecture, we will start and conclude our chapter 2. Thank you so much.